Hey guys, it's Chloe. Welcome back or welcome to my channel. In today's video, I have a really cool interior mod to show you guys today that I just installed on my 3rd generation Toyota Tacoma, and I'm gonna have to open up the door to show it to you. I have footwell lighting for my truck. Now these aren't just any footwell lights, and in fact, prior to me getting this Toyota Tacoma specific kit from VLEDS, the footwell lighting options for the Toyota Tacoma kind of sucked, for lack of a better term. I've seen people use LED strips that are sort of like universal for any car that you can get from Amazon and a ton of other places. While it's nice that they're inexpensive, they're often controlled by a physical remote and they just don't look very clean in my opinion. You guys know from my other videos that when I do a Toyota Tacoma mod, I want something that's fully integrated with my truck. I really wanted footwell lighting because A, it looks cool, and B, it's really dark on the trail at night, especially in the desert where there's no lighting whatsoever. It's always hard to find things on the floor at night or even just get in the truck, honestly, because a lack of light. So anyways, when I heard about this Toyota Tacoma specific footwell lighting kit from VLEDS that didn't require you to use any of those cheap little plastic remotes to control and instead are controlled the same way your dome and map lights are on. Basically, they fade on when you open the door and they automatically turn off when you close the door. Their brightness is adjustable, they're plug and play, they come in a ton of other colors. I was super excited to try this out on my truck. So today in this video, I'm gonna be showing you all the features of these footwell lights and exactly how they work, and I'll also be showing you how to install this plug and play mod. And by the way, if you're interested in picking up a set of these for your truck, I'll have a link in the description down below that you can use to find this kit. Alright, so I got all the lights in my garage turned off, and I'm in my truck obviously, and it's pretty dark in here without any of the lights on, of course. You can't even see my shoes, but I will show you right when I open a door. Check out how bright that is. I think this is really nice. And I'll show you how they kind of fade when they're turning off. So I'll close the door, and of course they're gonna go with your map lights. But you can see they faded off really nicely. So if you're watching this video close to the date I uploaded it, this is actually a pretty brand new product, and you're gonna be one of the first to have it for the 3rd gen Tacoma, which I think is really cool. But anyways, before I show you all the cool features like courtesy mode and night mode and how to adjust them and stuff, let's talk about the color that I got. So right now, based on the website, there are 6 available colors you can get. There's natural white, pure white, which is what I have in my truck, cool white, aqua, blue, and red. It's really cool that there's a couple of different white options because I wanted something that didn't look super cool, so to speak. Something a little warm, but something that would match the rest of the lighting in my truck. So I went with the 5500K pure white. And I don't have any filters or anything in my video because I really want to show you guys what this color truly looks like. I'd say the camera's picking up the color pretty appropriately to how it looks in real life. It's a nice white, not too yellow, not too blue sort of color. If you decide to get the aqua color, it'll be very similar to how a lot of these switches look like when they illuminate. And the blue and the red color are very vibrant, bold colors that will look cool if you're doing like a custom theme. Okay, so there's a couple of different modes for these footwell lights, and let me show you what they are. So first off, courtesy mode, which is what I'm in right now. The door is open, so the lights are on, of course. And you can see I only have my daytime running lights switched on. I don't have the headlights on. So this is courtesy mode. For night mode, if I turn my headlights on and I close the door, when the headlights are on and all the doors are closed, you might be able to barely see that there's just a little bit of lighting, and I have my shoe coming up close to the light, so you can actually see there's light coming out during nighttime so that you get a little bit of light at your feet when it's really dark out. Now I'll put a picture up on the screen so you can get a better idea of courtesy mode versus night mode, but those are the 2 modes this footwell LED kit offers. Now keep in mind, night mode won't work if you turn your headlights off, so I'm going to turn them off. And you can see it's pitch black down there again. Regardless of whatever mode you're in, night mode or courtesy mode, or basically whatever setting your lights are on, no matter what, once you open the door, you'll get the full brightness for your footwell lighting. Now, if for some reason you want these brighter or dimmer as they currently stand, you can actually adjust the PWM dimmer with the provided screwdriver to get your desired output. Okay, so that's basically how these Footwell lights work. I really like them, but now let's get into how to actually install them so that you guys can see. Alright, so when you order this kit, this is the box you're gonna get from VLEDS. Now let's open it up and see what's inside. First up, I got these two CNC'd all aluminum body strip light bars. These have a black finish, and these are the LEDs themselves, and as you can see, they have plug-and-play connectors on them, so if you ever wanted to change colors, you can easily do that. Again, I got the 5500K pure white color. You're also gonna get a bag with lots of zip ties, a PWM adjustment screwdriver, and some 3M adhesive for mounting. In this bag, you're gonna get your VLEDS PWM LED dimmer, and this is where you can use that screwdriver to adjust the PWM, and you're gonna get a couple of wire extensions. In the last bag, you're going to get a Red Side Electric OEM style breakout harness, this T-splitter if you have Miso puddle pods, and also a zip tie. There is also a VLEDS decal, as well as some instructions and a little thank you card. All right, let's get into it. So the very first thing I did was disconnect my battery, and now I'm going to start on the driver's side of my truck. All right, so we're gonna start on this driver's side A-pillar here, and the first thing we're gonna do is remove this plastic piece with a trim removal tool. If you don't have one of these, you'll need something pretty thin to get under there. A flathead works, but I like using these because you don't risk scratching the plastic. Next, that's gonna expose a 10mm bolt, so I'm gonna go remove that. Now you can use your pry tool to actually remove this plastic panel. Next, what you're gonna see is this long wiring harness. Now, if you can locate this bracket, there's actually a black piece, if you can see, holding this wiring harness in place. So first, I'm going to remove it by pressing down. So this is the black plastic piece I just removed off the bottom of this bracket. And you might be able to see that there's a zip tie around this whole wiring harness, so we're going to have to cut that off to release this plastic piece. Now you want to be really careful with this, and mine's really tight too. So I was just extra careful not to cut any of the wiring. But essentially, this is what you're going to want to do, and you're going to want to save this piece. Next, I'm going to be separating these two gray connectors, so I'm going to use the provided screwdriver to press down right here on the harness and at the same time pull up. Then I'm going to take the provided breakout harness and connect the female end of it into the male end of the factory wiring harness, and then plug the female end of the factory wiring harness into the male end of the provided one. Now I'm going to take the long loom wiring harness with this connector at the end and plug it into the female end of this harness. Now it is notched, so you should not be able to get this wrong. Now I'm going to feed the end of this long wiring harness down through this channel over here, and you're not going to be able to see that well, but basically you're going to follow to where this harness is going. Now I'm going to take my PWM dimmer, and you can see that there's these two connectors coming out of the left side. One is the high and one is the low. The high, which is the longer wire, is going to connect to the connector on the shorter of the two cables that we routed down from our A-pillar. And then of course the low is going to connect to the connector on the longer end of the wire. And if you look up close on these, there's going to be arrows. So you should know exactly how these are supposed to connect together in the correct polarity. Next, I'm going to take my square 3M tape. I'm going to place it on the back of the dimmer, and I'm going to look for a place underneath my truck to mount it, and when I'm done, I'll show you guys where I put it. Okay, so this might be a little difficult for you guys to see, but you saw my fuse panel, and I have the dimmer attached to this black plastic piece right next to the fuse panel. Next up, we're going to close up our A-pillar. Now, something you might find useful and something that I found useful was previously this connector right here was attached to this white piece. I ended up using the provided little screwdriver to actually detach this harness from this white piece, and this basically helped me prevent the wires from kinking too much, and also it's just going to help a little bit more with getting that A-pillar piece to fit back on. So one thing we want to do to tie up all of our wiring again is we want to take this black plastic piece, and I'm just going to remove the old zip tie from it and cut some of the excess plastic on the top. And now you can see there is a perfect hole over there to put a zip tie in. So I'm going to use the provided long zip tie that came in the VLEDS kit, insert it in, re-clip it on this bracket, and then use it to hold the wiring harness in place. Then I'm going to cut the excess part of the zip tie off. Once you've got the A-pillar fitted on correctly, you can put back your 10mm bolt in. Okay, so I just reconnected my battery and now it's time for the fun part, actually getting these light bar strips, plugging them in and mounting them. So to mount them, we're going to take our oval shaped 3M tape, and then you're able to daisy chain these lights so they each have a male and female connector. Now, if you remember, coming out of my dimmer was a female end, so we're going to take the male end of the light and actually plug it in. And since my battery is reconnected, these should light up, and they do, which is awesome. So that is very bright, but I really like that. But we'll play around with the adjuster at the end to see what I like best. But now I'm just going to find a good place on one of these panels underneath to actually mount this light. So here on the driver's side, I have my VLED light mounted at the bottom of this panel, so you can't see it if you're looking up high, but you can see it if you're looking underneath. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 4-inch extension and I'm going to use it to daisy chain the other light bar, and I'm basically going to unravel this and then route it behind here. So the very last thing I did was clean up some of the wiring, because the last thing you want to see is wires hanging down. I don't know, that irks me so much. But it was really easy because there were lots of provided zip ties, and all the other wires up there are factory wires, so I just used those to zip tie my wires to, and I ended up with a really clean finish in my opinion. So let me close both doors to show you how this works. So I have all the lights in my garage turned off. Now it is daytime, so there is a little bit of daylight coming into the garage, but you can see the map lights are off and the footwell lighting is off. And as I open the door, the footwell lighting turns on. I love the way this looks. I actually really like this brightness setting, whatever it is. I might play around with it a little bit. And I personally love this white color. It matches the map lights really well. And you can't see the light bar unless, of course, you look way underneath. So this is a very OEM factory look. And overall, this install was not too bad. Okay, so that is the install and all about this footwell lighting kit from VLEDs. Definitely let me know what you guys think. I am super excited to have these, especially for the trails. If you guys are interested in picking up a kit for your own truck, definitely let me know in the comment section down below what color you're getting and why. But other than that, thank you so much for watching today's video. As always, links will be down in the description. If you want to connect more with me, you can follow me on my Instagram. It is at ChloeKuoTaco. I post more in real time on there and some extra content. But yeah, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys!